Sometimes we come across new areas where all the structures seem to display similar features. So here we've come to a new area where there's more right angled tubular structures in the building formations, and it's a little bit more than other areas. So straight away we can see from this height that for instance that unit there, we've got tubular structures that are more right angular in formation. Again, we've got an excavated crater with 3 in there, and the peculiar thing is the excavation around the other side is also very zigzag and right angular, same as the structure's internal. So I'm just trying to zoom in higher to get a rough picture. Yes. If we go in this left area here, we see a lot more zigzag structures than are normally seen. I'll just zoom in now. Again, we don't know what these tubular structures are. They obviously look like they're intelligent formed, not unnatural formations or volcanic formations. Here we have some here as well, and we have what appears to be flat courtyards around them, and there's more right angular patterns than we've seen before happening, especially this one here as well. We see quite a few luminous ones there. If we actually go to this one, we see 2 or 3 there with that rectangle excavation around it. Again, I'm still perplexed as to what these structures are. They look as though they're formed by intelligent design. And this area here, again, as I say, displays more zigzag formations. We can see it here as well. Up here we see it. These are more luminous, these cylinders. If we focus in on this one, these are very luminous as well. And we have those courtyards around them that seem to be a different colour of the surrounding landscape. There's a greenish tinge to them. There's 1 or 2 internal towers there. We'll just do a quick measurement of one of the towers, the rod towers that form on the edge. These are about 50 metres. Again, they look very small on the screen, but 50 metres on Earth would be about 15 stories or more. And again, these display the green tinge on the landscape. And in this particular case, we see a lot more. We see a lot more tinge structures. We see a lot more green tinging. Then we see these courtyard type of effects around the cylinder structures, the rod cylinders I call them. Yeah, so this spot here just sticks out because there's a lot more angular patterns happening, especially up here. We've got 1 groups, 2, 3, 4, and from a very high distance we can tell obviously that these are right angled tubular structures. So this is by chance again. We just are roaming over the landscape of the surface of the moon, and this just obviously sticks out because the increased tubular structures that are seen, they're a lot more wider angles, and in this particular case even the courtyard around these tubes displays these right angles. This area as well. Again, I don't see any windows or any structures. These are just tubular structures around there as well. And if we just zoom around quickly, we see these patterns happening again, but the actual resolution here is lower. So yeah, this was this area here, and again we'll just use a basic principles. If we find a crater, we'll usually see these tubular structures around the rim of the around the crater. It's happening here as well. And we'll see a lot more of these structures happening there and there. We're just seeing some more examples right here. This is interesting. What we have here is a very good example. I'll just We'll label this one. This shows a more darker green courtyard around the tubular structures, and this is what looks like a very good example of right angle rectangular area around it. Then you've got the tubes, and usually the crater or a shadow in the middle, and the fine tubular structures are usually on the opposite side. So that shows to be dark green around it. So unfortunately the resolution is not that good, but from a high distance we can actually spot that right there. So inside it becomes a darker green, and that could be due to the excavation being lower than the surrounding levels, and we could get condensation happening. And again, as we go further out, we'll see again the rule applies. We'll see these peculiar multi-angled structures that have more angles than average happening, like this structure here, which we've previously labelled. There's a tower there, 90 metres high, and what looks like a shadow around it actually from the towers there. Or it could be an excavation, you can't tell. Quite a few seem like excavations and quite a few seem like shadows. So when we go from high up, here we go, we just zoom in on this area here, we see the same effect happening. Again, I'm not commenting on what these structures are, they don't look unnatural, they look intelligent design. These are luminous, they're actually emitting light. What sort of life form could have produced these? I don't know. Does it look human in construction? The answer is I don't think so. So here's one more example. We'll see a group of tubular structures there. These are luminous. We can do a quick measurement of that one there. That looks like just one rod from top to bottom, so I'll do a measurement. It's a long one, it's about 110 metres, and there's a few next to it. So again, this can be seen from very high up. Here we have what looks like one group there, obviously. One group higher up in this area here. And the best way of finding these obviously is to zoom up very high. Again, there's no roads or any type of communication happening. These are very luminous rod structures there. So this is the process of actually finding these. It involves usually zooming in from about a few kilometres up. We can tell the patterns occurring, and then we just try to figure out which patterns are unusual and focus on those patterns. Again, the whole landscape is just littered with these peculiar rod-shaped structures. Quite a few towers with square courtyards around them. There's one very good example there that just sticks out on its own. I think there's one little one beside it. That looks like a rectangular excavation around it. The height there is 70 metres. So on Earth that would be about 23, 25 stories. So again, these are not small. They look small here obviously, but here we go. There's a group there as well, tubular structures. These show a bit more right angles. Again, I wouldn't mind any comments or any theories of what they are. My view is they're not human in construction. I'll have to see.